when we read in Ephesians, we see the founding of the church in Ephesians 4, where the fivefold ministry gifts were given. There are debates against that. Some people say we should not even be focusing on fivefold ministry. Some people say there's not five, there's four, because the pastor and the teacher are actually one. So that's one of the debates. And then there are debates that we just don't need them. We don't need them. The reason being, and this was a part of what came out in our discussion, the reason for that is because in the early church, from the foundation of the church, when the church was founded, there was the fivefold ministry. There, the five roles: the prophet, the apostle, the prophet, the teacher, the pastor, and the evangelist, according to Ephesians 4. And they were given to do the work that we see in Ephesians 4:12 and 13. That's why they were given to the church. But by the 3rd century, the church had reverted to, I shouldn't even say revert, converted to a more hierarchical structure, like we see where there's the bishops and there's the priests and so forth. And whatever your church tradition is, whatever your denomination is that you've historically grown up in, that church most likely has some sort of hierarchy. Well, the fivefold ministry kind of does away with the hierarchy. So in the beginning, when the church was founded, when Jesus left us to build the church, and what we see in Ephesians, those 5 gifts, ministry gifts, they were not a hierarchy. Even though we say the church was, according to 1 Corinthians 15, was founded on the prophets and then the apostles and their teachers, it was not hierarchy. It wasn't like a hierarchy. It was still meant for us all to function together as a team. But by the 3rd century, the church had converted to a hierarchical structure. So that was very early in church history. We converted to this hierarchical structure that most of us grew up in. And then from there, when Martin Luther came along with the Church Reformation, there was a splitting off from the church structure that had been established from the 3rd century moving forward, and it had many changes and things happened all along. But when Martin Luther came along, nailed his I can't even think of the name of the report right now, but he nailed it to the door. Then that started the Church Reformation, and then the church changed from there. And many splinters and many denominations split off from the church from there. And all of us have a separate or our own hierarchy that could be similar but not the same. But what happened when the church went to this hierarchy format structure as of the 3rd century, that kind of did away with the fivefold. We no longer had that structure. The Lord is restoring the fivefold ministry to the church.